Good morning, YouTube and Facebook. How you doing? Well, it's Monday morning. Well, still morning. Monday, 10:55 a.m. What would I be doing? I think I'd be looking forward, if I was at work, if I was working my old job, I think I'd be looking forward to my break, which I had my break at, geez, I can't even remember. Actually, I think I would have already had my break. I don't even remember. And it's funny, I don't even care. This morning I woke up, had to go get some milk and bread this morning, right? Failed to get that yesterday. And I went up the road and it was like desolate. I had no idea what was going on. I thought, is it Sunday? And then I'm like, no, it's got to be Monday. And driving past the school, and there's just nothing going on at the school. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Is this a public holiday or something? Anyway, when I finally got home, I asked the question, and my wife said to me, no, it's school holidays. So, unbeknownst to me, I thought it was like a public holiday or something, but no, it's just school holidays. So, but it was very quiet out there, and I thought, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, you just lose track of time when you're not working a day job. Thank goodness I don't do that anymore. All right, so let's check out what's been happening in the market overnight. Let's have a quick look. Alrighty, let's see where we're at. We'll give you a market update. We're going to cover some news, and I'll be talking about what my question is in my live. What does all the money look like in the world? I'm going to break that down for you. First of all, we're going to do a quick look at the market. So, coming in number one, Bitcoin, 6,351. Hasn't really moved much at all. Ethereum, 451, stable. Number three, we got Ripple, 46 cents. Bitcoin Cash, $738, down about 1% in the last 24 hours. EOS, $8.15, down about 1%. Litecoin in position 6, $80.26. Stellar, number 7, at 19 cents, nearly 20 cents. It's up 4% this morning. Cardano, number 8, 14 cents. We're looking at just nearly between 4 and 5% increase on that. Number 9, we've got IOTA, $1.07, and we're up 6%. And Tether is still in the top 10 with 2.71 billion market cap currently. And China, Monero, Neo, and Dash are outside those top 10. So at the moment, the market's not doing too much, but we did see this, move from I think it was about 5.8, and that happened. I think it was the last couple of days, so we'll just have a quick look at the chart for that one. We can just get a general idea. Wait for that to load. So yeah, we're looking at was it 6.3. It did drop in the last day. It has went down to 6.2, but notice how they were basically between 6.3 and 6.2. So not much in the last 24 hours. Just go out to 7 days. We'll have a look at that jump. Yeah, so this is where at like 5.8s and everyone was doom and gloom and everything, and all of a sudden, $58 million. I mean, what was that in the hour? Yeah. So that the total volume right there was $53 million, $16 million the next hour. So when you put basically, what's happening there is you've got, whales or, I suspect it to be whales or people with plenty of cash. They're just saying, okay, this is cheap. We're going to buy it up at and put, 50, 60 million. So that's, it's a lot of dollars. I think, yeah, that is actually in dollars. So that is 50 million. So basically, within a couple of hours, 60 million worth of volume. So I mean, unless you're the exchanges, you know exactly how much money is inflowing. But let's just, for all intents and purposes, say 50, 60 million dollars went in within a couple of hours. And I did break this down. Wasn't yesterday, day before, and just discussed about the end of the futures expiry and how the futures does play a part in the prices overall, because this market is still quite small compared to every other market out there, even though it's worth 250, 260 billion dollars. So yeah, so basically not much happening at the moment. But checking out the news before, there's really, I don't see any FUD. I don't see any fear, uncertainty, doubt. I don't see any of that at the moment. I just see, we've got in China with the heavy rains. I showed some pictures of a mining operation. Don't really give too much details on that. What else is there? TechCrunch reports over 1,000 crypto projects are considered dead. Yeah, I checked out a couple of those sources, but look, this is all part of it, these scam coins and these projects that fail. And this is honestly just like normal business. Businesses start up all the time, and it has a high failure rate. Same with coins. Obviously, some businesses are scams, just like some coins are scams, but the projects that stay around for the long term and have the most benefit, they're the ones that do really well. So yeah, this is an interesting article. Spanish ruling party proposed to use blockchain in the country's administration. EOS is still working out how they're doing dispute resolution. What else there? No, see, there's nothing too dangerous. There's no SEC. Like every time bad news comes out, this is what happens when news goes out and it's considered bad or not good for crypto. Okay, it makes people not want to participate in the market. So this is how big players, people that control the media, and when I'm talking big players, this is how they can manipulate markets by releasing news. They actually do control the way the news, and if you don't believe it, just look at between November and December and just see what happened, and then from December onwards have a look at the news then. So this is how it works. So you've got to be aware of that. So at the moment we're not seeing any FUD whatsoever. We're not seeing anything really bad. There's no hackings right now or anything like that, and none of that news is being out there. So at the moment I think we're ready for another bit of a run. Sure, there's a bit of a hope in there, but I don't really see it progressing any further. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. There's no point. They can make just as much money pushing it back up 20k as they can going back down. It doesn't really benefit anyone. As long as the market is moving, they're going to make money. So so let's have a look. So as I said, there's nothing going on there. I'll move on to the next topic I want to talk about, which is the one here. I'll put the link below so you can check it out. So this one is all the money in the world. So this is in US dollars. I want to take some time to explain exactly what I'm talking about here, and just come along for the ride. It's really interesting. This sort of helps you visualize money, and this is money. People think money's like this interesting thing, but really it's just printed paper, okay? And countries or organizations like banks, for example, they're the ones that control that, and they print it and they use it to their advantage. So this is what $100 looks like, okay, for the US. Little piece of paper like that, we print it on there. Okay, this is what $10,000 looks like. So it's a little stack. Not sure how thick that is. I haven't had 10,000 American dollars in front of me before, so I couldn't say, but I wouldn't think it was very thick. You can probably hold that easily in your hand. Now let's go one step further. This is like a pallet, right? And we're talking $100 million can fit on this pallet. So there's a person, there's a pallet, there's a normal shipping pallet you would get. 100 million, plenty to go on, and it fits on a military standard size pallet. So there you go, you can put $100 million on a pallet. Then we have a look here. Check out what $1 billion look like. Now $1 billion is like $1,000 million. So it's an extra 3 zeros. So we've got $1 billion. So $1 billion. So this is this is $100 million here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 5 is 10. So 10 lots of those equals 1 billion. So we're talking 6 pallets is $1 billion. Right, just let that sink in for a sec. All right. So now you heard about $1 trillion. What is $1 trillion? Well, let's add another 1,000 to that. So as you can see, you've got this billion here. It's another 1,000 on there. So let's put that. This truck can carry about $2 billion. Okay, so that's a billion. That's 2 billion. Now this represents what $1 trillion looks like. $1 trillion. Have a look at that skyscraper. Let's keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. Righty, we're at the top. That building right there represents exactly that. So there's a $2 billion truck, and there's each level of those pallets. There's a person down there, and that is how big $1 trillion is. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Alright, so let's check out this market. What market is this? Alright, so this is now, let's be specific, this is January 2017, so this is a while ago now because we're into June, July the 2nd now, July the 2nd, 2018. So we're on a bit, but this is Bitcoin, $14 billion market cap. Now if we go back to the market cap right now, Bitcoin is at $108 billion just by itself, okay, just Bitcoin. Go back to our picture. So it's nearly 10x, let's just say 10x on that. Okay, so there you got Bitcoin, this chick here, she's sitting on this little couch made of money. But as you can see, this is 14 billion. Obviously, this is a little bit bigger now. That's 14 billion, maybe about 10x that, so it's a little bit bigger than that. So this is what crypto, this is what Bitcoin represents, how much of market share it takes up. You know, about, let's say 100 billion. In this case, in this little scenario, about 14 billion. Let's have a look at some of the other people, okay, that are worth a bit of money. So Warren Buffett, 66.7 billion. Bill Gates, 79.2 billion. And Carlos Slim, 72.9 billion. So little person down there, she's sitting on that all that money on that money lounge, lounging around on a couple of mil, well, probably a lot more, 100 mil. This guy's standing up on the pallet, wouldn't want to fall off. Okay, so this is how much. Now remember, let's go back and look at it. $100 million fits on a pallet. And let's check it out. So each one of those pallets, 100 million. So these guys, you know, are crushing it. So these are like the world's richest people. So then have a look at the world's biggest companies. Ooh, check that out. There's a dude up there. ExxonMobil, 330 billion. Berkshire Hathaway, 330 billion. Microsoft, 470 billion. Google, 500 billion. And Apple at 550 billion. Okay, might have changed some of those prices since, but just get you an idea of what each one of those looks like. And remember, this little dude down there, each little pallet is worth 100 million. So that gives you the size of it. There's a truck. Remember, the truck can carry about 2 billion. There's our chick. She's lying on the couch there. Alright, so then let's check out gold and silver. Alright, so its approximate is 2.52 trillion. This is what 2.52 trillion USD looks like in gold. So there's 60 ton of gold. Now you're thinking, really? 60 ton? Is that all it is? Yes. There is, picture that, I mean obviously that's going to be heavy, but each one of those is roughly like a pallet. 60 ton of investment gold. Check out the size of that. That's, you know, not that big, is it? Check out silver, investment silver. 31,700 ton. It's probably half the size. Yep, check out that. And then we go to The cash value of investment in gold is 2.5 trillion. Actual gold itself and the these are the assets, but this is actually the cash value of investment of gold. Look at those skyscrapers. All right. Now, this is the approximate value of all the investment gold in the world is 2.5 trillion. That's $40 a gram, or $1,250 an ounce. And there is the Statue of Liberty. So check that out. Like that, you know, that really puts a visualization on how much gold and silver is in the world. Let's go down to the next one. So this diagram, or this picture, represents world money supply. Okay, so you've got this thing called base money and bank money. So base money is 28 trillion. Now that is, remember, this is the truck with I think 2 billion. Yeah, 2 billion's on that truck. A little person down there, Statue of Liberty. These are all skyscrapers, as you can see. There's a whole bunch of them. That's 28 trillion. And then a lot more is this 58 trillion. This is the bank money all the way over here. Now they're pretty big skyscrapers, all right? So base money basically is the money held at the banks, okay, received from the central banks, and the money that's stored in the bank vaults, physical cash, and the cash in people's hand. This money is not available at the ATM. So that's 28 trillion. Now the bank money is the money stored at banks by corporations and people available for withdrawal any time. So that, you know, basically that's like people's money. So if you've got cash in the bank, you're part of that $50 trillion. Okay? So that gives you sort of a diagram of what that looks like. Hopefully you got a visualization. Let's go down to this next massive one. What is this? This is 58 trillion, the value of all government bonds in the world. So there's our Statue of Liberty. There's our huge skyscrapers. Remember, each little tiny square is a little pallet that has like 100 million cash. So 58 trillion, the value of all the government bonds. So government bonds government bond is right a debt. It's considered an asset class because bonds, that's the taxpayers, pay interest on the borrowed money. The lender gets a certificate, and the bond is a promise to pay back the money in return. And government bonds are considered safe with little risk of non-payment because governments can write new laws to tax people. Okay, so this is why. So this is the government bond. So essentially, 58 trillion. That is a lot of all the government bonds. Moving down a little bit further, 116 trillion, all of the stocks and corporate bonds in the world. So corporate bonds are similar to government bonds, but they're more risky. So big companies, they basically create these. So big corporations can borrow money cheaply, and then they can essentially create bonds for other people to borrow those money off them. So 116 trillion, the value of all the stocks and corporate bonds in the world. So check that out. Look at the size of that. So as you can see, each one of these is a skyscraper going all the way back down there. And this is, I think these represent football fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just gives you an idea of how much money that is. Let's go another step further. $290 trillion. This is the value of all private businesses and real estate in the world. So 180 trillion is for real estate, 100 trillion is a registered private business, and 10 trillion is for extra legal activities. Okay, so this is what that looks like. That's pretty massive, 290 trillion. Let's go down a bit further. Now here's a word that you may not have come across. Is quadrillion. Oh my goodness, what is quadrillion? The value of all the derivatives in the world. Okay, so essentially the best way to explain what a derivative is, like a casino style bet in a contract form made by banks. 1 quadrillion. Okay, and they are the worst. They're sort of made up. Okay, essentially it's a bet in a contract form made by banks. and you can pick something of value, right, and make it in a contract, and becomes a derivative, and banks can make profits off it. Okay, and this is what we've seen, in the past, a lot of problems. But this is 1 quadrillion. Okay, so let's scroll down and check what this looks like. This is 1 quadrillion. This is 1,000 trillion. This is sum of all the derivatives. Check that out. Have you ever seen a skyscraper that big? I don't even think they make them that big. I mean, that's just huge. I mean, that's crazy. And there's about 1,000 of those. Can't even count them all. That's just massive. That's just amazing what 1 quadrillion is. 1,000 trillion. 1 quadrillion. So just to put that in perspective, 1 quadrillion is 1,000 trillion, or 1 million billions, or 1 billion millions. Oh, I got a headache thinking about it. There's another view of what it looks like. Okay, from side on. All right. Oh, awesome. Payday. What is it Monday? Yes, it is Monday. I established that before. It's payday today. That is awesome. I love getting paid. You know what? That's the thing about if you know what you're doing with crypto, you can get paid passively. You can get paid, choose to get paid weekly, right? And it doesn't matter whether the market's going up or down. I'm going to get paid. Yeah, sure. It helps if the market's going up. We've got a bull run. That's great. More people come in. Prices go up. Fantastic. And make even more. But I'm making money regardless. Okay, so if you want to hit me up about that, make sure you message me and I'll let you know more about it. Now, this is all the money and the assets in the world shown in physical $100 bills. So this is a interesting little thing. So this is pretty massive. So at the front here, we've got gold. There's a little tiny stack of gold down there. This next section is the paper money. Then we've got the government bonds and treasury bills, corporate bonds and listed stocks, other commodities, and then we've got this derivatives. Remember the massive derivatives markets, and some buildings in the background. Derivatives, 1 quadrillion, private business and real estate, 300 trillion, securitized debt and listed stocks, 116 trillion, government bonds, 56.7 trillion, bank money, 50 trillion, base money, 28 million, and gold's at the bottom there. See how gold's a scarce resource? It's not very much of it, okay? But notice how all this other, don't forget that any of this paper money can be printed. And also you got to ask yourself, if you do any history of money and how it all turns out, go back, a couple of thousand years when they were printing money, okay, all different forms of money. So all this money that is available, it's only supported by the governments or by the authorities or by the kings or queens or the dictatorships that run them. Because without that, there's nothing to enforce the value of, because there's no scarcity, they can print these things. So sure, maybe in the old days they had to make coins or whatever, they print coins, now they just print paper. And even now, they don't even print paper. They just create it out of thin air. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. They create it out of thin air. And also they create those things called derivatives. They can just make as much derivative product as they want and sell it to whom they want and make plenty of profits. This is the banks I'm talking about. This is why I say screw the banks and screw the government and screw your job. So this is the liquidity pyramid, which is that one I just showed you there. And I think that about covers it. So, yeah, I will put the link for you to check this out because this is a lot to absorb. But let's just scroll back up. All the way back up. Now, if you've got any questions about this, hit me up. Let's go back to this 14 billion. Just a few little tiny thing. Each one's 100 million. Look at the size of this. Now, this is a little bit bigger now because remember, Bitcoin is at 108 billion. Just think about this. You think about how small this crypto, this Bitcoin market is compared to some of these other markets. So we go back down. Okay. 14 billion compared to, 2.5 trillion for gold. Look at compared to the money. Look at it compared to stocks and bonds. I mean, it's so small. So this is why at the moment it can be easily manipulated by people with plenty of cash. But don't let that worry you. As long as you understand how the market works, and it does take a bit of education to learn how to do that. But once you understand how it works, you can succeed at it. Okay. So this little picture again, this is gold all the way down here, and as we know, that was a lot more than what crypto was. So crypto is only small. So when they say, "Oh, Bitcoin is a bubble" and all this bullshit, you know, what they're really taking away from is the fact that there's 1 quadrillion derivatives out there. Now, there's people talking about it, but you know, banks don't talk about it because that's where they make their money. It's other people that talk about it and say this is the sort of stuff that does damage to everyday people. Okay, because they create money. And this is why you should study the history of money. I might do something in the future about this. There's plenty of great stuff out there. But essentially, governments and organisations and authorities, they create this money. And it's basically, you think you're born into a society and you just go with whatever you're learning, right? But guaranteed you're going to pay tax. Why do you pay tax? Did you know that there was a time when we didn't pay tax? Sorry, did I just say that? Yes, there was a time when you didn't pay tax. Probably before maybe we were born. Some of you guys might have been born before then. I don't know. But there was time, and there are some places where you don't even pay tax. But in the US, in Australia, there was time when you did not pay tax, because tax is just a new thing. Okay, this tax came out just to pay for this printed money because they moved away from the gold standard. Because everything was, they had gold, it was a standard, it was something, you know, safe, because they knew the quantity of it, they knew where it was, it made sense. But then when, say, went outside that and moved away from the gold standard, it gave the banking industry, okay, and some very big families, it gave them the ability to create money out of thin air. And this is why every day your dollar that you have in your pocket that you work in your job for, or whatever you do, that dollar is getting less and less buying power, and you have to earn more just to keep up. And the reason is because of the way money works. And this is why I'm so excited about crypto, because crypto, you have this fixed supply. It cannot be corrupted. This is the amount of Bitcoin. This is the amount of crypto. Okay, and it's just like with gold. Sure, it's a physical thing. It's hard to count up all the gold. Maybe if you get it all in one spot and you ordered it and say it's there, sure. But with crypto, it's open. You can see how much crypto there is. There is only so many. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. Okay, and that's all it's going to be. So there is got that scarcity. It's not like money where they can just print and print and print, and then what you're working for becomes more worthless. So I wanted to share that with you. If you've got any thoughts, let me know. If you think it's all bullshit, let me know that too. But yeah, I just want to know whether you love the banks and love the government and love the fact that they're printing all this money, and you and your children and their children are going to be paying for that. Someone's got to pay for it. Someone's got to pay the banks back. Or do they? Alright, I'll leave you with that thought. Just to let you know, if you don't know much about the market and crypto and anything like that, and you want to get started, or you've been around and you want to pick up a couple of things, I've got a crypto getting started guide. You can always go to the link below. I've got a link below. You can check that out, and make sure you get the free coupon. There's a paid for course, but if you put the coupon in, you'll get it for free. Make sure you put the coupon in. And click through. You can go to my site if you want, ecomrebel.com. Just click this button if you like. It'll take you to this page here. I'll wait for that to load. Yep, and you just click the buy button, and then you enter in your email address and put your coupon in. Once you put your coupon in, you get it for free. Oh, I love that. So you guys, the reason I'm doing that is because I want you to learn something. I want you to gain some experience about how to get started in crypto, because when I started, I sort of had to learn all over the place, and it was a little bit difficult. So what I've done is condensed that in a couple of hours. I've got all these, a couple of hours worth of videos that you can go through at your own pace, completely free, and all you have to do is just go through it and step by step, and you'll get started. Okay, and if you've got any questions, hit me up. Alright, well, with that, I will catch up with you guys later. Great talking to you, and if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll be too happy to help you out. Okay, see ya.